Hello and welcome back to Let's Play The Dream Machine. Finally, Chapter 4. I think it's been over a year or so. I believe the first chapter came out in 2009, so it's been a long way coming, and there's still 2 more chapters to go. Even though they initially announced 5 chapters, they have now expanded, and we'll be making 6 chapters. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. As you might remember, we've just exited Alicia's dream, severed the dream machine tentacle there, and I believe there are 2, maybe 3 residents left in the building to sever from the dream machine. So yeah, that took longer than I thought, but Alicia should be safe for now. She said I have to sever all tentacles before the machine will shut down. So now I have to enter my neighbor's dream somehow. But how can I access their apartments without them calling the police? And how do I make them fall asleep? All these questions and more will be answered in this edition of Chapter 4 of The Dream Machine. But yeah, let's start with the basics. Remove the sender and receiver devices. There's really nothing we can do here in this building, or in this apartment now. Let's see. Alicia is still under the influence of the machine, but she should be safe for now. I won't be able to wake her up until I've purged the machine from her all dreams. So yeah, let's take our first step outside of the apartment and try to do that. Okay. He won't leave the apartment for some reason. Come on. There we are. Okay. Poltergeist door closes on its own. Cool. So what we want to do, well, maybe just, it's not really a secret. The next person whose dream we have to enter is our good neighbor. So yeah, she won't appreciate if we just barge in, so let's ring her doorbell. Why, hello, Mr. Neff. I'm sorry to disturb you again, Edie. Oh, don't worry, young man. One of my guests just abandoned me, so we had to put the bridge game on hold. What can I do for you? There's something important we need to talk about. Oh? I can see that you're upset. Why don't you come in, dear? Let's discuss it over a cup of Lady Grey. I'm guessing that's tea. That always soothes the nerves. Well, I don't particularly care for tea, but yeah. So, I need to make Edie fall asleep somehow. But how do I do that? I can't just knock her out. Well, you could, but there are some social implications to that, I suppose. But yeah, so this is our nice little bathroom. I don't think there's anything here we need, as far as I can remember, no? Yeah, so my tactics here are basically to just play through the game once, and then do the Let's Play. Oh, I'm just putting on the tea. I'm putting on the kettle, I think it's at. It'll take a while to boil, but we can talk in the meantime. So this is our first clue. What we want to do is sort of not poison the tea, but put some sort of I don't know what it's called, sleeping agent in the tea to make her fall asleep. And she will drink the tea when the pot boils, so we'll just take that for now. And yeah, let's just go and say hello to our friends. Mr. Neff. Allow me to introduce Peggy Driscoll to my left. Charmed, I'm sure. And Bucky Bradshaw, that's a hell of a name, to my right. Hello, Mr. Neff. They're 2 of my most trusted friends. Anything you can say to me, you can say to them. Why don't you take a seat and tell us what's been bothering you? Okay. Now, where were we? Yeah, as you can see, they'll just keep the conversation going by themselves, whether you participate or not. So that's cool. So, Mr. Neff, Tell us what's on your mind. Yeah, so, probably not the things you want to say to an old lady, but hey, the landlord is surveilling every apartment in the estate. Mr. Morton was using the tenants to tap into the collective unconsciousness. Our landlord just died in the basement. Nice way of breaking it. I need to put you to sleep and enter your dreams. I could use a hot cup of tea right about now. Yeah, so I'll just take this one first. Yes, but I can't hear the water boiling yet. So yeah, that basically just tells you what you need to do. In order for them to drink tea, you have to make the pot boil. So yeah, all seems quiet in the kitchen. Yeah, and the conversation just continues on autopilot here. Old people talk, you know. It's not like we're keeping tabs. I'm sure they'll see reason someday, yeah. So there's a nice little dialogue tree here. I won't do all of them, but hey, let's just be very blunt and say, our landlord just died in the basement. He died? You mean they fired him? How you can draw that conclusion from died, I don't know, but hey. No, he wasn't fired, he actually died. Good riddance. You have a cold heart, Edie. They never last, do they? I had a landlord die on me once. He was old and I wasn't actually around when he kicked it. But apparently he shot himself in the middle of the yard. He used a fine caliber bird shot, so it took him a week to die from the injury. Well, that's a nice story. They had to guard him in shifts to keep him from pulling the ivy out of his arm. That's horrible. Might as well buy a mullet and a cannon. Yeah, and you can see they just go off on tangents from, well, really loose tangents. I'm sure it'd make a great gunslinger, sure. Yeah, so hours of fun, maybe, are to be had by listening to them, but... yeah, you know where to find us if you start feeling lonely again. That is the cue. So this is... yeah, he's just basically just saying that he has to make her fall asleep without alerting the other two. So the solution there will be a collective sleep session, I suppose. And also just a little tidbit into her life, I suppose. Her sleeping, or her bedroom, I mean. Nice little place, I guess. Looks a little run down though, with the, particularly the not drapes, but the wallpaper, I mean. So yeah. What we need to do now though is let's go down to the first floor. And here's a little tangent, I suppose. There is something you can do with these mailboxes. Let's see. We now have the master key for the elevator, so we can open these. I'm not sure if you could do that in the earlier chapters, but if you open Mr. Willard's mailbox, you will find a letter. And if you open the letter, yeah, it's a letter addressed to Martin Willard. It looks like a bill. I'm not entirely comfortable opening my neighbor's mail. But hey, not different, but difficult times call for difficult measures, I suppose, or something like that. Open letter. But it might contain something important. Well... Deltacom. It's just a phone bill. I guess it wasn't so important after all. True that. So let's step into Mr. Morton's office once more. Now, I don't need to ring the doorbell, but yeah. We still have not entered this room that you might remember from, I don't remember, I guess the second chapter. We saw this for the first time. There seems to be something written on the wall. It looks like some kind of code. Yeah. So here we have lower right corner, upper left corner, upper right corner. I should probably write that down for just reference. Let's see here. Yeah, so lower right corner, upper left corner, and upper right corner. This is basically a code, and as you remember from the a previous puzzle, it's been so long now that I actually don't quite remember what the puzzle was, but it all involves the surveillance system, the screens down in the basement, of course. So we shall go down to the basement, use the master key. And interesting, like, doors that can't be opened in this chapter, as far as I know at least. Yeah, no locks or handles, so there's still some nooks and crannies in the buildings. This also goes for the fire escapes and like closets on the different floors. They are locked, you can open them, but you can't directly enter them. And there's also, I believe, like a closed door, like a sealed off door on some floor that you can't enter either. So maybe we'll see that in later chapters. But yeah, let us see. Lower right in this case is let's see, 3. Upper left is 1, and upper right is 6. So yeah, that will be our code to enter the secret room. There are actually several secret rooms we have to enter this time, but yeah. And yeah, actually this chapter is very room-based, as you'll see in a bit. So into the Mr. Morton's office once more. And of course this gramophone thing is our input device. So clockwise, 1, 2, 3 times. Counterclockwise, 1 time. And clockwise again 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there we go. Yeah, seems like he's got his own Breaking Bad shit going on here, with his own, well, maybe not meth lab, but certainly there are some substances to be made here. We will need this water valve. And the pipe seems to have come loose. No shit. Why water isn't gushing out right now, I don't know, but hey. And this book is also very important. It looks like Mr. Morton kept a notebook. And this is something I really love in games, when they actually expand on the story through a character's own written words. You have audiobooks and stuff like that in most games these days, but actually having an extensive journal is not something you see a lot. I remember the Uncharted games also have this, although in a much simpler fashion, but yeah. So yeah, I managed to improve Father's recipe again. Toasting the petals before powderizing makes them a bit more potent, but I have to be careful not to singe them. Any charring ruins the batch. So yeah, he basically writes about, I'll leave each page open for a few seconds. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but what he basically talks about in the beginning here is recipes and chemicals and ingredients for sleeping solutions, sleeping powder. Important things to take note of is door code A to B. We'll get to that in a bit. Yeah, so Mr. Morton is basically writing about his father and how he did things, and he's taking over the business gradually. And then there's well, this one we saw down in the surveillance room basement, probably to be used in later chapters, or else it's just pointless to have it, I guess. But yeah, so it goes from the more technical side of things to the actual patients. And I believe Willard Moreau was the previous tenant in our no wait, 3A. No, that's not right. We are 2A, I guess, or 2B maybe. But yeah, that is one of our current neighbors, I suppose. And yeah, just the different patients, vanilla cupcakes, sleeping beauty pizza sauce, doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and some some history of the sleep clinic that used to be here, basically. Sleep clinic forced into foreclosure. And who are these people, I wonder? Yeah, Frank Morton, his father, died, let's see, 1997. He was born 1926. So yeah, he got quite old, I suppose. I do not know how to do the math right now, but yeah. What else? But anyhow, Alicia and Victor, why are we here? So yeah, here's basically a little few clues, I believe, to the previous tenant. As a safety measure, I'll forge a marriage and death certificate in case I need to back up any upcoming improvisations. Now, okay, this is actually Mr. Morton writing about how to cover himself if anything was to go wrong. Unfortunately, I'm almost out of carrier gas. I've placed an order, but who knows how long delivery will take this time. So yeah, carrier gas is not an option at this moment. What is this? Alicia Neff ultrasound, 25 weeks. This is a little disturbing, to say the least. But hey, okay. But one of the first things we need to do here is we need a recipe for a sleeping agent, or a sleeping solution, or whatever you want to call it. And if you look at this, we have some rather weird recipes. This puzzle was actually changed from the original release to now that I'm playing it. I'll tell you a bit more about that later. But yeah, fertilizer powder. That's cool, I guess. But sleeping beauty pizza sauce doesn't make complete sense. I don't know why you would make pizza sauce that would make you fall asleep. So, and I believe this vanilla cupcake is there to sort of give the impression that this is a food recipe page thing. But yeah, in reality, if you read this page, sleeping, and there are like the numbers of ingredients on this side, and if you go here, powder, and of the actual ingredients. So what we need to do, as you can see by this little cutout line here, I don't know why you would place that there himself, but hey, you just take the page and pull, and you got your recipe for sleeping powder. A few red petals from Opuntia L powderized, a few blue petals from O Fidicusmindi powderized, sap from Lopopora vulgaris, crush nimetazepam, erimin, and midazolam dormicum. I think all these medical names are made up, I don't know, but yeah, prescription med names. So now we have a recipe for sleeping powder, or tea, as I guess we'll call it later.